Wow, 1,000 subscribers.
So guess what, folks? We've hit 1,000 subscribers in exactly 180 days. That's a big accomplishment in our books, and we're really proud of ourselves for being consistent with one video a week. And here we are celebrating an orchard in Singapore with some mookata. We've never had it before. You know, in Asian traditions, when you go home and your parents or your grandparents might ask you, how have you eaten? Did you eat yet? That's something that we've taken as a nice mantra moving forward, given that like we're on the other side of the world and our parents and our grandparents and our families are back home in Canada. And so for us to show you how we're eating and how we're doing and share a lot of the memories that we're making, I think it's been a nice spark and conversation starter amongst our close family and friends.
Whenever we went to a really good place, we always had the best time because like we would trade notes in terms of like, oh, how did this taste and like all that stuff. And we had such a wonderful experience that we just wanted to share them with friends and family. It started growing where people would just ask us for more recommendations. And then the biggest thing was whenever we moved to a new area, new neighborhood, especially because we had some times when we were long distance, it helped us to continue to build our relationship and like connect, even though we were so far away. So to see it grow and to now be able to share a lot of these stories so that all of you can have these adventures and just join us along for the ride as we learn and grow and do all these things is just beyond my wildest dreams. At the end of the day with YouTube, it's the consistency. You gotta show up, and there's a discipline that you need to put in to be able to create, and you can't forget who's on the other end. Like it's all of you. And so it's been a whirlwind trying to figure out how to tell stories, make sure that, you know, it's entertaining. And then there's also been learnings as to how to work as a couple.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway here is you learn as you do. And so for me, it was practicing a lot, editing, shooting, just falling in love with the process. And there will be components that you find joyful and some that you don't. And it's a function of just continuing to keep going.
I think it was Conejo Negro. I really think so, because it was like being there, trying everything, the hospitality, everything was just amazing. I think it was our first restaurant, like soul-focused restaurant thing too. And for it to have been in Toronto, I feel like it's quite magical because that's our hometown, and the food was so Torontonian with the multiculturalism and the warmth that we got from Lamin and all the staff, and like seeing everybody just love what they do made it so fun to tell that story, you know? And it gave it a deeper dimension than just eating food and reviewing. And I think that really started off that change in where some of our stories went. So that I think was so fun to film, to then edit, and to like go back and see our reactions because the food was amazing. And then they got their Michelin like nominations and awards and everything too. So it was like a full circle kind of moment.
There's been one place in Singapore that's always eluded us. We've gone and walked in through the doors like 3-4 times, and we've always either been rejected, or it's too full, or there's a random Halloween party and we're not dressed for the occasion. And this place is called Atlas, one of the most famous bars in Singapore, and it's got like the most extensive gin collection in the world. And so I would want to do a video, honestly, just tasting all the different kinds of gin, because gin is so unique in that it's infused with botanicals. There's also a little bit of grandeur there. You know, there's not cheap cocktails. It's not a cheap place to be. It's a little bit more atas or a little bit more bougie.
Trying to balance and find the time to be able to do everything to the standard that we want to be able to put out for all of you.
The beginning. Our first 4 or 5 videos were learning about the whole process,
Japan.
Picking a new camera up. It was Japan. And we had no idea what we were doing. Just camera, audio was absolute atrocious. Didn't know how to frame a shot, didn't know FPS. It was a big learning curve for us, but part of that was it was the first time in a long time I felt I was learning at such a high velocity. And so I think because of that, Japan has my heart for the learning velocity, the skill set acquisition, the memories, but also obviously the food. You can't forget that. So I just wish we made better videos back then. Which one are you most looking forward to going back and filming?
So first thought in my head is there's a dessert place in Paris called Chez Janu. It was a recommendation from one of your friends, I think.
Yeah.
And I had the most incredible chocolate mousse that I've ever had in my entire life. I didn't like usually chocolate desserts before that. Like I'll eat chocolate, love chocolate, but like you put it in any kind of dessert, a mousse, a cake, I just wasn't my fancy. Picture this, you're going into Chez Janu. It's this very cute bistro kind of vibe. It's dark. And then somebody comes around with, we ordered that just because people have told us to order this. And then this guy comes around with a pot in his arm. And then he takes a big scoop and just a scoop, giant block right in your plate. It's the most unappetizing looking thing. So I was so questioning, like, why did we get recommended to go to this place? One mouthful, the moment it touched my lips, it's just incredible.
Here's to 1,000 and 1,000 more.
Cheers!
Cheers, the bay.
Cheers!